So welcome to all of you joining me. Today's practice is about the full moon. So when the moon is full, we have this rise of energy, and we're going to just explore what that might mean for us today. So you will need a few props. Always good to have a couple of bricks. If you don't have bricks, it's not the end of the world. We can improvise. So you might just go and get something like bricks. That might be a couple of books. If you haven't got that, then if you can see what I'm doing now to my yoga mat, we might just roll it up so that you have a fat little sausage to sit behind your shoulder blades, because that's really where we want the bricks for. And later on, we will be doing some restorative poses. So you might have access to a yoga bolster. If you don't have access to a yoga bolster, you might get a couple of pillows and wrap a towel around them. So we're looking for something this shape. So we'll just make do with what we've got. It really isn't a problem. And we'll get straight into our practice. So thank you for joining me. And the first practice, we want to open up our heart. So in the absence of a book or a brick, you might roll your mat up. We want something that helps us open our chest a little bit. So ideally, you want the brick or the rolled up blanket or bolster just below your shoulder blades. And if that's comfortable for your head, let the head come back. If it's not comfortable, you might have a second brick for the back of the head. So your armpits are just above the book, the brick, the rolled up mat. And if not, just take your awareness to your heart. It really doesn't matter. Now your legs can be feet together, knees wide, a gentle opening for the hips. If that's just too much of a pull, then you keep the legs straight. So many instructions to begin with. So just gather what you have and come to lie in that still space. So when the moon is fullest, there's an abundance of light, and the full moon is seen as a time to celebrate all the abundance in our life. We quite literally shine a light on all that we have. So just begin by settling onto whatever it is that supports you beneath the heart, and direct your breathing to the center of your chest. And as you take a full deep breath in through the nose, hold that breath into the heart, feel that fullness, and then breathe in a little bit more on top. And focus your awareness on that peak of energy at the top of the inhale. And then very slowly exhale. And we're going to do that 3 to 4 more times. So breathing into the center of the chest. Feel the fullness. Breathe in a little bit more at top. Hold that awareness in the peak of energy. And then as you exhale, soften and release. And that's the metaphor for the full moon, this peak of energy, this fullness, as we then start to release and move down. So do that 3 or 4 more times, just focusing your awareness on the fullness of your heart, and then breathe in a little bit more at top. And in line with this full moon time, can you call to mind one thing today that you're grateful for? And it can just be something really simple, like maybe the sun's shining outside, maybe you had a nice breakfast. But also at this time of shining a light, we don't want to acknowledge things that are, push things away that are painful to us. So there is actually such a thing as toxic positivity. We all know those people who, think positive, that we probably want to lock in a cupboard sometimes. So also acknowledging too that you might not always be feeling great. And I have a quote here from Joyce Rupp. No matter how much light I carry within me, there will always be times of feeling lost, being confused, seeking direction. It is the way of the human heart. So as we begin this practice, as always, checking in, we might have light and abundance and gratitude, but just holding space for us if we're just feeling a little bit icky as well. This is what it is to be human, to be alive. 2 more breaths into the center of your heart, whatever is being held there. And then remove whatever it is that you have supporting your heart, your chest. And then let's come down to lie flat. And you might notice more space there now. So the heart chakra, the shoulders, the heart is where we work with when we're in that kind of vibe of gratitude. Let's just bring the knees up towards the chest now, and then take the feet up to the sky, also the hands, and then wrap your fingers around your thumbs, make little fists, and then just do little circles. This is not to punch the people that are toxically positive. And then just spread the toes, just hydrating the joints. And then make little jazz hands with the hand. Really spread your fingers, spread your toes as well. Soft bend in the knees. And then take your hands behind the backs of the knees. We're going to roll up and down the spine just a couple of times. So coming back onto the shoulders, up onto the toes. So in theory, we have more energy around the full moon. So we're going to flow a little bit first and then come into stillness. And as you hold behind the backs of the knees, lift the toes up, lift the heart up, and then maybe lift the feet up too. Pull the tummy in, sweep those arms up. Gratitude for this body, this day. Spread the toes, deep, deep breath. And then crisscross the shins. So working with our heart chakra as we begin, roll the shoulders back and just feel everything it is that's grounding you. And just take your hand to one of your sit bones as you pull it back. You might notice you're a little bit wonky there now, so just pull the other one back. So the moon at this time has this heightened energy. Can we just take a moment as we close our eyes to connect to that which grounds us? And of course, the origin of the word lunacy comes from luna. So it is a time that can really rattle us at times. So breathing in, as we ground the hips, can we sweep the arms up to the sky, spread the fingers, lift the heart, lift the chest. And as we exhale, open the arms really wide and take your right arm on top of the left. And just give yourself a loving hug there. Breathe into where the hands are. And now bring the backs of the palms together. So stay with the hug if that feels better, or maybe even palms together. And as you breathe in, lift the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, elbows come towards your tummy. Just tuck the chin. Breathing in, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, elbows to tummy. One final time, breathing in, lift those arms as high as you can now, and just pause there. Do a little swallow. And then turn to your left as you take the right hand to the outside edge of that knee and the left finger's behind you. And grow tall as you inhale. As you exhale, pull the belly in, then the chest, and look over your back shoulder and just roll both shoulders back. And now breathe into the fullness of the torso. Soften the shoulders. Deep breath in. Soften the shoulders. Now with this right hand, press away with that thigh as you now tip to the side for a really big side stretch, and breathe into the fullness of the left lung. Exhale, and as you tip back, just gratitude for this next breath. And slowly, slowly come up. And before we do side 2, just take the hands, just feel that flow of energy down the left side. And then let's do some circles. And let's go anti-clockwise, because that's the way the moon orbits the earth. So just breathing in as you come forward. Maybe add the neck as well, the chin. Just easing into this body. And it's so easy to focus on the bits of our body that annoy us. And we just have gratitude for this human body. And I'm dangerously sounding a bit toxically positive. This is not my normal state. You could ask my children. And let's come to the center. Let's make these circles smaller and smaller until we come to a place of stillness. And as the head comes over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips, take a deep, deep breath as we lift that heart. And again, breathe into the center of the heart. Breathe in some more. Focus on the peak of energy. And then exhale. Let go all tension in the jaw. And let's tip back and recross the legs because we nearly always pick our favorite side. Roll the shoulders back, connect to that which grounds you, and then breathing in as we sweep the arms up. And reach for the stars now as you lift the fingers and then drop the shoulders. Inhale, arms come really wide. Exhale, left arm on top this time and give yourself a little hug. So option one, stay here, otherwise backs of the palms or palms together. Breathing in, lift the forearms. Exhale, elbows to tummy. Inhale, round, a bit of a cat and cow spine really. Exhale, elbows to tummy. And one final time, this time we stay up. And as we lift those arms up, feel like you're pulling your forearms in two separate directions. Feel the back of the shoulder blades, the back of the heart. And breathe into that space. And then we release, just as we do at full moon, and turn it into a twist. So the left hand forward, right fingers behind, grow tall as you inhale. Exhale, soften the shoulders, the face. One more breath into the fullness of the torso. Exhale to soften. And now press this left hand against the thigh as you sweep your right arm up and over and breathe into the fullness of the right lung. And just make sure there's no tension here. Often we're really rigid. Can we be watery, just like the moon governs the waters of the earth? And breathe your way back up. And again, take a moment to rest that right hand. Feel the flow of energy down the right side body. And breathe into the whole body. And let's come on to all fours now. So as we come onto all fours, just give a little bit of love to your wrists. We're just going to turn the wrist to 180 degrees, just the right wrist only, and then just come forward and back a little bit. So our wrists get very tender when we use a lot of devices, technology. And now take the left hand just slightly underneath your face as you lift the right arm up to the sky and just circle that right wrist. And maybe you just take the hand a little further behind you. Feel everything tighten up. With the right fingers, just flick away everything you wish to release at this time of full moon. So breathing in, spread the fingers. And then bring the hand down. And as you rest the right hand down, just take a moment to feel the difference between sides. Then flip your left wrist 180 degrees. If that's too much, don't do it. Come forward and back a little bit, stretching our carpal bones. So when we do vinyasas, the downward dogs, they're quite heavy on the wrist. So the right hand comes under the face now as you sweep that left arm up and flick away anything behind you. Take the arm a little bit further behind you. Just circle out the wrist. And come all the way back. So just as the moon governs the waves, the ocean, the sea, let's take that quality into our body now as we breathe in like a wave, drop the tummy, lift the heart, lift the tailbone. As you exhale, come back to child's pose. Inhale, sweep your way back up again. Exhale, back to child's pose. Do that 2 more times, these wave-like watery movements. So this is where we stay if our energy today is just a little bit more tired or you have any shoulder issues. Otherwise, we come up to down dog and we take those same kind of qualities. So from down dog, just take a moment to bend the right knee only as you ease into the left and then swap sides. So like a slow walk, really getting feedback from the body, how it's feeling today. And then in down dog, just pause there. We ease the heels towards the ground. They might never get there. And then we're going to do the wave-like. So bend the knee, pull the tummy in, roll yourself forward, lift the shoulders. And then get to plank, but lift that belly up to support you. Press the heels back, lift the heart. Then bend the knees as you come back to down dog. So kind of ripply planks, breathing in, come up onto the tippy toes, lift the shoulders, come forward, and then come back. So just building that upper body strength. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. And then pause to feel everything that grounds you to the earth. Spread your fingers, spread your feet. And as you breathe in, let's lift that right leg up. And just take a moment there to pause. As you breathe in, lift the left heel up as high as you can.
And then ease that left heel towards the ground and do that one more time. So gratitude for our hamstrings. We don't always feel that in the moment. Then gaze forward and take the right foot to the outside of the right hand. So we're going to drop the left knee now and just come into little circles of the right hip. So we're working on the dense muscles that ground us at this time when we might be feeling perhaps sometimes agitated. Often our sleep is affected around the full moon. Now come forward and back. As you inhale, drop your heart, let that left thigh descend. And as you breathe out, start to straighten the right leg. And if your hamstrings are a little tight, you notice the shoulders might creep up to the ears. So see if you can, don't do that. Do that 2 more times. And now as we bend the right knee, keep the foot planted, but walk your hands to the left. So keep that right knee pulling away from you and then do little circles. So notice that that might feel a little bit tighter. And again, just take circles in about 2 or 3 one direction, 2 or 3 the other. And then come back to center. We're going to wiggle this right foot between the hands now as we come up to a lunge. So as you breathe in, sweep the arms up to the sky and lift your heart, spread your fingers. Interlace the palms now and take them to the back of the head. And just let your head fall back into your hands. And as those elbows wing open, breathe into the center of the heart, this abundant heart where all that gratitude resides. Take a deep breath. And then sweep the arms all the way back up again. Take the hands either side of your right foot. And then your choices are down dog or back to all fours. So if you're on all fours, you stay with cat and cow. If you're in down dog, we're going to do something just slightly different to usual. As we breathe into plank, we're going to drop the hips and lift the heart. So almost like up dog. Pull the belly in. We come back to down dog. So again, working with the heart. Inhale, come forward. Drop the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, back to down dog. So do check your back. If that doesn't feel good, come to a softer variation. Inhale. And exhale. And pause there as you spread your feet, feel the toes, connect to all that grounds you to the earth. And take a breath into this moment. And then steadily let that left leg lift. As the left leg lifts now, lift the right heel as you breathe in. Exhale, right heel comes down. Inhale, heel lifts. Exhale, comes down. Gaze forward, and again, we're going to sweep the left hand forward. And sometimes we have to drag that foot there. Let's drop the right knee. So fingers just a little forward of the feet, breathing in as the right thigh drops. Exhale as the left leg straightens. And sorry, we did circles first, so do a couple of circles or so. And then let's slide and glide. So breathing, come forward. Exhale, we straighten. And again, just check those shoulders. Are you wearing them like earrings, or is there lots of space? So these dense muscles that really help us ground when we stretch them. So press into the left foot now as we walk a little bit to the right. You explore how much to the right, but keep that left knee pressing away to the left, and then do more circles. And this will often reveal a much tighter spot. And then walk the hands back, wiggle the foot between the hands and sweep the arms up to the sky. And as you reach out, lift the heart. And if it's not too complicated, interlace the palms the opposite way. And then let your head come back, pull the belly in, and just let that heart blossom open as you take a breath. Maybe that right thigh drops a little bit more. Take 2 deep breaths. And then inhale, lift the arms to the sky, huge breath. Frame your front foot, downward facing dog. So we're warming the body up now. So your choice, if you prefer a traditional vinyasa where you go to plank and lower, do that. Otherwise for today, let's do the same pattern. Breathing in forward, drop the hips, lift the heart, press into the heels. Exhale, come back. So always check the back and how it feels with this. Breathing in, come forward. Exhale, come back. Final time, breathing in, come forward. Exhale, come back. And pause in downward facing dog. You are rooted to the earth. Take a breath into this moment now. And then let's just walk our way towards the front of the mat. So we want our feet hip width apart here. So just check that's roughly about 2 fists. And then let's take the interlace to the back of the neck again. Can you interlace your palms like you're kind of leaning back on a deck chair, and then just gently lengthen the back of the neck as you tuck the chin. I'm going to do this a few times today. So just easing into the shoulders, the neck, all these muscles that are around our energetic heart chakra. And then let the fingers draw up to the earth and just shake out the head a little bit. And then pull your belly in very slowly. We're going to glide the fingers first up the ankles and the shins and the knees, the thighs. Just make this connection with your human body. And then pause at the top of your mat. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to your tummy, and breathe into all that you are today. The full moon is a time of our fullest potential. So soften, settle, have a soft bend in the knees. And let's come through today's flow. So thinking about our shoulders a little bit, because that's where our heart chakra is, the center of love and forgiveness, gratitude, all these things we associate with the full moon. So breathing in as you press your hands together. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky, lift your heart, lift your heart. Exhale, come to a fold. Breathe into a flat back. And take the hands down as you step back right, then left to a downward facing dog. And pause here for a deep breath. And you might stay there for one more deep breath, or come forward again to the kind of plank where we lower the hips and lift. And exhale back to down dog. So see how your body feels one more time. If you have got that peak of energy, let's just make the most of that. And pause there now. Press down into the left foot. Be very steady there as the right leg rises. Bend the right knee and do big circles. All little ones, to see what's best for you. And as you gaze forward, take the right foot between the hands. So you can drop the knee like we just did, or you can come straight up from here into a high lunge. And we're going to do the same pattern. Can you interlace the palms? This time, first of all, let's take them up to the sky. So the heels of the hands face the sky, and just lean to the right. So feel like your left elbow is bent and you're just gently using the weight of the right arm to hold it down. Lean your body back, and again, breathe into the fullness of the left side of the body. And we may wobble, of course we do. And now lift the arms up and turn that into little circles. And now let's lean to the left. So this might not be our steady side. It might be more challenging. Breathe into the right side of the body. And then as before, take it to the base of the neck and lean your upper body back. Wing those elbows open and breathe into the heart. Maybe drop a little deeper into that left thigh. Now lift the arms up. We're going to take the hands now to the thigh. So the hands are still interlaced. And we're playing with this pose, so expect to wobble. It's called Digasana. We're going to press that thigh back as we practice lifting up the left foot. And we might just tap the foot up and down to begin with. And then maybe we find our balance. So we press the thigh back with the right hand. We gaze forward and we spread the left toes. And now we're accessing the fullness of the spine. So use the hands to press the thigh back to get that full spine. One more breath. And really smile at yourself if you wobble. Just be grateful that you're playing. Drop that left foot down, sweep the arms up to the sky and reach into your high lunge. And now we're coming into warrior two. So I'm going to change direction so I can still face you. You stay where you are. Again, we're going to add the shoulders. So as we come into warrior two, can you bring the right arm to the sky? Take it to the base of the neck. And now take your left hand to the top of the right elbow. And just slightly lean back now as you pull your tummy in. So it's kind of a reverse warrior two. How much can you curl back, breathing into the right side body?
Sweep the arms all the way back to warrior two, and this time interlace them behind you. And as you roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, take a deep, deep breath. And now fold forward so the head is going towards the right instep. And lift those arms as high as you can and slightly swing your right hip back now as you take 2 deep breaths into the back of your body. Feel the feet, they're doing a lot of rooting. And slowly, slowly come up. And then unravel the arms, give them a little shake. And now let's straighten the right leg. So we're going to hold on to our hips, slightly hop the back foot in as we come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Can you take the left hand to your lower back today for this variation and just slightly lean back? And just close your eyes. Let your left hand rest on the left lower back, your kidney area, and breathe into where your left hand is. So the moon governs the waters of the earth, the kidneys govern the waters of the body. Can you feel yours now as you breathe there? And keep it there as you take the right arm up and lean yourself forward. So keep that left hand on the lower back, right hand comes towards the right foot. Start to spin your heart and chest upwards. And then lengthen the spine as you root down into that left heel. Take one more breath to where your left hand is. And then you can either keep it there or let it float up to the sky. So the full expression of Trikonasana. Pull your tummy in, lean your upper body back, and take 3 deep breaths. And then you might gaze to the top thumb if your neck is all right with that. And then look down to your right foot to release the neck, press into the foot and slowly come back up. Warrior two, bend that right knee, take a breath. And then you're going to come through whatever your vinyasa is today. So frame your front foot, come back to downward facing dog. And you might now need to rest in child's pose, stay where you are. Or again, come forward as you come into plank, lower the belly immediately, take the heart up. Exhale, come all the way back. Do that one more time. And again, just feel how strong the body feels. Gratitude for this body on this day. So again, I'm going to spin round. Please stay exactly where you are. So your feet are rooting you, your fingers are rooting you. Feel the body as you breathe. And then lift your left leg up to the sky. So as the left leg lifts, lift the right heel now really high, and then bring that right heel down. Do that one more time. And then gaze forward as you take the left foot between the hands. Press into both feet as if you're trying to stretch your mat in 2 different directions. And then sweep the arms up to the sky. And again, we're interlacing, if you can, the way you don't normally interlace. If that's just too confusing, then be kind. Tilt to the side now. Pull the right elbow down. Feel the breath into the left side body. Inhale, come back up and do those circles again. So just like the moon orbits the earth, we're taking that circular action. So now we're tipping to the left. Feel the stretch in the right side. Press into the feet, really ground yourself. Inhale, arms lift up. Take the hands behind the back of the head. And again, just lean back. Trust that that support is there for you as you breathe into the fullness of the heart. Inhale, arms lift up. Coming into Dagasana again. So it's kind of like a warrior 3, but we're using the limbs to lengthen the spine. So just play to begin with. Lean forward. Maybe you just take the toes up an inch or so. Maybe you stay to the ground today if you're feeling a little bit vulnerable or wobbly. Or maybe you explore what it feels like to take flight. So take those right legs back, spread the right toes, press the left thigh back, pull the tummy in as you breathe. So the kidneys do govern the bones. Balances are really good for our bones. So even if we wobble, we're strengthening our bones. And let's take that down. Come back into the high lunge, breathing in. Then we come into warrior two. And again, feel your feet connect to the earth. Left arm lifts up and comes to the base of the neck. If our shoulders are tight, we tend to pull the tummy, puff the belly out. So can you pull your tummy in, lift the skin of the left elbow up, and then we're tipping back. So breathing and keep bending into that left knee, keep pressing into your right little toe and breathe into the left ribs. Excuse me. Inhale your way up, take the arms out wide, and let's interlace them opposite way if you can. Pull the lower belly in, breathing in, heart lifts. Exhale, bring the crown of the head towards that left foot and tuck the chin now as you breathe into the back of the body. Slowly come up. Release the hands, just give them a little shake. And then just slightly hop your back foot in. So you're going to take the right hand to the kidney space now, the right kidney. Just lean back and feel like you can breathe where your right hand rests. When you can feel that slight subtle movement below the hand, that's a good sign that you're using the fullness of your lung capacity, because often we breathe very shallowly higher up in the chest, especially if we are prone to anxiety. Now let's let that left arm come out to the side and lean forward, take the hand to the leg. And as you press the shin, can you spin your heart and chest upwards? Lean back, maybe close your eyes if you feel steady, just to feel the breath where your right hand rests. And express the pose more fully as you reach into the right fingers, reach for those stars now as you breathe in, gazing to the right thumb. And then gaze down to the left foot, breathe your way up to warrior two. Take a moment there to breathe. Let's come through another of those vinyasas. Frame the front foot, take the left leg back. And again, same thing, stay here, rest in child's pose, otherwise breathing forward, drop the hips into the heart. Firm up the legs, keep pressing the heels back. Exhale, come back. Do that 2 more times. And now let's pause in child's pose. So a little bit more standing to do, then we're coming to rest. So sit back on the heels. And for me, sometimes in child's pose, I like to have a cushion between my thighs and feet. That helps me relax a little bit more. Press your forehead into the ground. Just roll the forehead side to side. So you stay where you are as I get up. And breathe deeply. So in this pose, of course, it is a full moon, but in this pose, we're in the darkness a little bit more. So just allow yourself to soften, to settle. And there's a quote from Brené Brown: the dark does not destroy the light, it defines it. It's our fear of the dark that casts our joy into the shadows. Again, breathing in. Sometimes we don't always see the light, but just like the sun is always there, can we trust that as we take a full breath into the lower back? And there's a quote from Mary Oliver: someone I loved once gave me a box full of darkness. It took me years to understand that this too was a gift. As we acknowledged earlier, the light doesn't always feel like it's on, but that's not to say that there's not healing and things to be grateful for. So taking 2 more deep breaths. Do sigh. Let go, let go, let go. And slowly come back into downward dog. So our last little bounce of energy now before we start to bring it down. So again, we're at the peak of the practice now in the full moon. So just pause in your down dog and just do a little bit of a bounce. And then maybe lift the toes up as well. Maybe shake the head, just getting all that trapped energy out of us.
And this can be really nice if you're full of energy. And then drop into stillness. Pause there. Feel the tingles, the life, the chi, the prana just coursing through your veins now. And let's add just a little bit more oomph. As you breathe in, lift the right leg up. Pause there. Exhale, knee to nose, round into your upper back. Inhale, right leg extends back. Exhale, knee to nose. Final time, inhale, leg extends back. This time, step that foot between the hands. And from here, we're going to come back into the high lunge. So breathing in, arms sweep up. Straighten the front leg. As you exhale, dip down now as deeply as you can into that front knee. Do that 2 more times with your breath. So we can't have a moon practice without doing a moon pose. So technically this is half moon, but we're going to do it at full moon. So take your left hand to your hip and again, allow yourself to fall over. We're going to take the right hand to the little toe side of the right foot as we lift the left leg up. So once again, I'm going to spin round to face you. It can be good sometimes to use a brick or a book under your right hand. So I'm going to demonstrate with that. Stay looking down as you get to know this pose, then gradually you might turn to the side. And as we turn to the side, we spread the left toes and the left arm lifted will be the thing that might knock you off your balance. So keep it on the hip if that feels better. And then spread into the fullness of this shape. Take 3 deep breaths. And then gaze down to the right foot, slowly come back into warrior 2. Good landing, and then lean your body back, left hand down, right arm rises up, take a breath. And then flow through your final vinyasa, so hands either side of the front foot. Same pattern, breathing in forward, drop the hips lift the heart. Exhale, come back. Do that 2 more times. So even though we've got this heightened energy, we're still moving very smoothly with the breath. And then pause in downward facing dog. And once again, I'm going to spin round. And let's finish off the high energy stuff here. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left leg extends. Exhale, knee to nose. Final time, inhale, leg extends. Exhale, footsteps through. And feel your roots, your feet, as you rise into this high lunge. Inhale, leg extends, straighten, sorry. Exhale, we dip deep. Inhale, lift. Exhale to lunge. Final time. And then very mindfully, steadily take your half moon. So right hand to hip to begin with. Left fingers to the brick, to the floor, to a book, chair, sofa, dog. Lift the right leg back, turn your hips, and then maybe raise the arm and give yourself time. Give yourself time to fall over and get back up again. And breathe as you widen the collarbones, reach into the fingers. And then very gently land, warrior 2. Take a moment to feel the feet on the earth. Sweep the arm all the way up and over. Take a breath into your reverse warrior. Breathe your way up, downward facing dog. We're almost, that's all the hard stuff done. So feel your feet, feel your hands. Let's come forward once more into plank. And this time hold your plank or drop your knees. Kick the heels back, gaze forward, take a breath. And then super slowly, let's come down to the ground. So we're going to hold these poses for a little longer now as we come into some more yin shapes. But just to begin with, take your forehead to the hands and shake the hips side to side. And then come to stillness as you connect back to that grounded breath, but still keep your awareness to the peak of the inhale.
And then slowly we're going to come up into some back bends. So we have an option. We're here for about 2 minutes. Elbows are under your shoulders, hands are in front of you. This is Sphinx Pose, and there's an option to deepen this in about a minute. So let me just check the time. There we go. So feel like you're sliding the heart between the armpits. You should be feeling compression in the lower back, but never pinching. And then you might just want to nod the head a little bit, just ease out the neck. So back bends are heart openers. Can you find a still spot for the head now as you lift on? Feel as if you're breathing into the center of your heart, this center of gratitude, of abundance. We're also activating what we call our kidney energy as well around the lower back, which of course govern the waters of the body, just like the moon governs the waters. So just focus on your breath, taking your awareness to the tip of the inhale. So we've been doing this pose now for 1 minute. You might have 1 minute more in you, or you might need to rest, or you might join me for seal pose. So we take the hands out to the side a little bit, more like a seal, and then we straighten the arms. And you can make this a little stronger by walking the hands closer to you. So roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. Let the legs and feet be reasonably floppy. Again, just check the back is not over any strong sensation. Sensation's fine, any pain is not. So just lift the heart, breathe into the center of the heart again. Pause at the top of the inhale, and then soften as you exhale. Perhaps call to mind that one thing that you're you're grateful for. It might be a person, a place, a thing, a pet. And now very gently come down, and you'll get a big fresh flow of blood now to your kidneys. So let's come down, let's rest the hand on our forehead, move the hips side to side. And take 2 deep breaths. And then just a brief child's pose. We're not going to hold this for very long. Just come all the way back once again. Just ease the spine into the opposite direction and just sit down, drop the forehead down and soften the shoulders. And take 4 deep breaths. And again, we're in the dark now. And there's a beautiful quote by Hafi from centuries ago. I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. Again, trusting the light is always there, even though sometimes we don't feel it or see it. And just take about 4 really full breaths, focusing on the peak of the inhale. And then very slowly, we're going to come onto our backs. So we're going to drop it down a notch now as we work with what we call our heart chakra. Because the heart is the center of forgiveness, of gratitude, all these qualities that we explore at full moon. And so we're going to be holding these poses for a minute or so. We're going to begin with banana pose. This is a really easy pose, but ever so good if we have tight shoulders or hips. So you're going to come to lie flat on the ground and then just move your right foot to the right and your right shoulder in line with the right foot. Take the arms overhead. I'll do this in a second, standing up so you can see the shape we're moving. Now the left foot can either sit next to the right ankle or it can stack on top. And then just gently hold your left wrist rather than give it a death grip. And then we're going to lean a little bit to the right. So you can see why it gets its name, banana pose. So this is it standing up if you're not sure. We're kind of leaning to the side. And we get a lovely stretch for the left outer hip and left shoulder. So I'm going to time you now for 1 minute while you stay Breathing into the fullness of the left lung. So breathing in, pause at the peak of the inhale. Maybe breathe in some more. And then exhale out all the breath, all the breath, all the breath. Now, I've just been here for one more minute. We've been here for a minute now. So can you take 3 more deep breaths? Each breath get just a little bit deeper. And finish with a sighing breath out. And then unravel yourself as you come back to center and just take a moment there like a little starfish now. So arms are in a Y shape, legs are in a V shape. Gratitude for the alphabet. And now let's take the left leg to the left. So left leg to the left shoulder in line with that left leg. Maybe that right ankle stacks. Just make sure your pelvis feels stable and secure. You're not kind of tilting or cranking it. Hold on to the right wrist and tip to the left. Always make sure your neck is relaxed, the shoulder blades are soft. It's so easy for us to add tension to a shape. And then once again, we find our breath. We're here for 1 minute. So breathing into the fullness of your breath. Pause at the top. Breathe in some more. Exhale out all the breath, all the breath, all breath. So the full moon is a time of gratitude, also a time of releasing things that stand in our way of happiness. So that involves forgiveness. So without forcing an answer here, is there anything that you need to forgive yourself for, forgive another for? It doesn't mean what they did was right. It just means that you are free to move into your light. The Buddha said holding on to anger is like holding or drinking poison. It only hurts ourselves. So just pause there. Is there anything that floats up there? What or who do you need to forgive? And now take 3 more deep breaths. So each breath get a little deeper. Finish with that sighing breath out. And staying with the heart chakra now, we're going to come into a couple of twists that also kind of involve our shoulders. So come back to center, feet are wide, arms are in that Y shape. Take a deep breath there. And as you breathe out, feel all the weightiness of you that anchors you to the earth. And then we're going to bend our knees. We're going to drop them to the right. And we're going to come to that side too. So as we lie on our right, wiggle your right arm as far forward as you can so you can feel the right shoulder blade there. And let your left hand sit on top of the right wrist. So just take a moment there. Make sure your shoulders feel okay. As you inhale, get your middle finger of the thumb and just rub it up the forearm. So make this connection with yourself. And as it comes up to the forearm now, rub it across your heart. And then extend that arm out to the side, the palm, the left arm, coming into a full twist. As you breathe in, lift your left arm up to the sky, like you're closing a book. And then take the left palm once again
onto the right. So it's resting around the wrist. Trace that line again with the middle finger. Inhale. So we're uncoiling the shoulders. Rub that hand across the heart. Let the left shoulder blade come to the opposite side and open up the left arm. Final time, breathing in, left arm lifts, closing it like a book. And then come all the way. And now stay here with the arms wide open. Maybe you're gazing at the left thumb. Can you soften the left shoulder blade? And take 5 deep breaths into the left side body. Breathing into the left lung. Exhale, soften the left shoulder. Breathe into the left lung. Pause at the peak of the inhale. Exhale to soften. And do that 3 more times with your own breath. And if the moon is pulling us and speeding up, it's so important that we slow down. Always use your yoga as a medicine. And then very gently come back to center. So bend the knees, take the feet hip width apart, just slightly move your hips back to center. And now slightly move your hips to the right as you lie on your left side. So excuse my back to you. Once again, wiggle the left arm in front. Middle finger rests roughly on the left wrist. Inhale, trace that arm all the way to your forehead, across the heart. Drop the right shoulder blade, the right forearm, the right fingers. Inhale, close the book. And again, open all the way across the body. And we're going to do that one more time. And follow your gaze to the right thumb. Take a deep breath into the right lung. Exhale, soften the right shoulder. 4 more of these breaths. And then slowly come back up. Easily, easily, easily now come onto your back. So feet are wherever you want really, probably in front of you. Maybe there's a hand resting on your heart or your tummy. Maybe the palms are beside you face up. Just tuck the chin as you lengthen the back of your neck. Take a moment here now in this final shape, the most important shape of Shavasana. And allow the breath fall into its natural rhythm now. But perhaps your awareness still lies at the top of the inhale. And this is a lovely quote I heard recently. There's a lovely yoga teacher local to me in Hampshire called Sharon Shea. So gratitude to her for sharing this with me. And it's by somebody called Tarira Mafi. The moon is a loyal companion. It never leaves. It's always there watching, steadfast, knowing us in our light and dark moments, changing forever, just as we do. Every day it's a different version of itself, sometimes weak and wan, sometimes strong and full of light. The moon understands what it means to be human, uncertain, alone, created by imperfection. Let the earth hold you now as we drop deeper into it. Gratitude for the support from Mother Earth.
Let your breath wash through you like the waves of the sea, filling you up from the inside, that fullness on the inhale, that release and letting go on the exhale. And fill the face with breath. As you breathe out, let all the features of the face soften. Breathe into the fullness of your torso, the side ribs. As you breathe out, relax the shoulders, the arms, the lower back, the hips. Let the thighs release, the feet, the weightiness of your legs. And gratitude to yourself for taking this time out to care for yourself. And just take a minute or so here now, just breathing into your whole body, your whole body, your whole body. And just notice where your mind might be drifting to. You can come back to this next breath. Now this one. And just stay a little while longer, just breathing in. And take a moment now to just deepen your breath. Take your awareness to all the sounds and signs of life around you. Maybe outside your home, maybe within your home. And of course, gratitude for having a home. And in a way that suits your body best right now, take those movements that you most need. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. And slowly take your time to come up to a seat. So I'm not sure if the microphone picks up. There's a very loud dog outside, so apologize. I'm not feeling grateful for the dog, but they have as much right to be on the earth as I do. So let's take our hands to the heart. Let's lift the chest. Keep that wide open heart now as we sweep the arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. And as always, thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.